Aaron Hernandez. Before he was the NFL household name, he was an All-American prodigy. He was a national champion with the Florida Gators and the most dominant college tight end in the country. By 22, he was performing at the Super Bowl. He was out catching touchdown passes from Tom Brady on the biggest stage in sport, and Hernandez wasn't missing any of it. He was armed with a $40 million contract, forging an unstoppable legacy, and had the entire world ahead of him, or so it seemed. Only a couple years later, he was behind bars on a murder charge. His victim? A fellow football player, a friend, but one who knew a secret that could destroy everything Aaron had built. See, as Hernandez's fame exploded, so did his paranoia. He was living a double life, carrying the terrifying secret that he had previously committed other murders, including a drive-by shooting in Boston. And Odin Lloyd knew, to a man consumed by the pressures of stardom and blinding paranoia, a friend who holds your darkest secrets isn't family anymore. He is a walking detonator. In Hernandez's mind, eliminating Odin wasn't just about a grudge. It was a cold, calculated execution to protect his throne. He believed he had covered his tracks perfectly. No usable DNA, no fingerprints. But in the most unlikely of surprises, his $40 million career was undone by a $200 replacement tire. A tire that matched a signature marked in the mud. To Hernandez, it was not even a consideration. After all, wheels are wheels. But to a forensic investigator, it was the geometric trump card. The ultimate answers lay buried in the soil, ready to connect his secret world of violence with the reality of a prison cell. This is the terrifying story of the downfall of Aaron Hernandez. It is Monday, June 17th, 2013. The clock reads exactly 5:30 p.m. A local resident is out for his evening jog. He navigates a gravel path in a North Attleboro industrial park. This area is a lonely, desolate patch of Massachusetts. The runner notices a shape near a mound of dirt. He thinks he is looking at a discarded mannequin. He moves closer, and the reality sets in. Lying in the mud is 27-year-old Odin Lloyd. Lloyd is a semi-pro football player. He has been shot 5 times at close range. This was a classic professional execution. Just miles away, Aaron Hernandez was living a different life. He was the youngest player in the NFL when he started. He was the star tight end for the New England Patriots. He was a favorite target for Tom Brady. Only 1 year earlier, he was on the world's biggest stage. He played in Super Bowl 46 in front of millions. He even caught a touchdown pass in that game. He had just signed a $40 million contract extension. He was an icon in the city of Boston. Kids wore his number 81 jersey to school every day. He had fame, wealth, and a growing legacy. But as the sun rose over the crime scene, that life began to end. Investigators arrived and set up a secure perimeter. They found 5 shell casings in the dirt. But the casings were not the most important evidence. The ground held a secret the shells do not. The surface was composed of soft, damp mud. It acted like a natural recording device. Trooper William Mazza was called to the scene. He is a specialist in physical impressions. Within feet of the body, he found a signature. It was a fresh tire track embedded in the earth. The track showed a very specific directional turn. This maneuver suggested a car backed into a tight space. It was positioned to allow a quick escape. Mazza began the process of dental stone casting. He poured the gypsum mixture into the dirt. He was about to capture a ghost. The industrial park was only 1.2 miles from Aaron's mansion. Investigators quickly identified Odin Lloyd. He was the boyfriend of the sister of Aaron's fiancée. This personal link put the Super Bowl star in the crosshairs. Police arrived at Hernandez's home for a routine talk. Hernandez did not answer his front door. He spoke to officers through a high-end surveillance system.
Fiancé, hours after the murder of Odin Lloyd. She's taking a bag from their house, and the surveillance...
He appeared visible through his 14-camera security web, a fortress built to keep his dark paranoia hidden away from the world. Police soon discovered a rented silver Nissan Altima. Hernandez had returned the car to the rental agency. He even offered the manager a piece of cotton candy gum. This act seemed like a friendly gesture, but it was actually a massive forensic error born from the arrogance of an untouchable star. The manager later cleaned the car for the next client. She found a piece of chewed blue gum under the seat. A single brass shell casing was stuck to the gum. Investigators later recovered these items from the trash. DNA testing linked the gum directly to the NFL star. The casing matched the rounds found near Lloyd's body. But the most dangerous evidence was under the vehicle. Every rental contract has a maintenance log. Hernandez returned the car with fresh mud in the wheels. He had cleaned the seats but ignored the rubber. The silver Altima was a common rental vehicle. Tens of thousands of them were on the road in 2013. Most people see just another set of tires. But to a crime scene investigator, tires are not identical. They are mass-produced but wear in unique ways. The team compared the Altima to the dental stone casts. The science was closing in on the mansion. GPS data placed the car at the scene at 3:07 a.m. By 3:23 a.m., the engine was cooling in Aaron's driveway. The murder took place in a 16-minute window. Now, the state needed to prove the match. They needed to turn a tread into a conviction. Most people look at a tire and see a simple piece of black rubber. An investigator looks at a tire and sees a complex piece of engineering. This is where a case turns from maybe to definitely. To capture the evidence, Trooper Mazza used a material called dental stone. It is a high-strength gypsum, much stronger than standard plaster. When you mix this powder with water, it creates an exothermic reaction. The mixture actually heats up as it begins to crystallize. This process allows the stone to expand into every microscopic crevice. It captures the class characteristics first. Think of these as the make and model features. Every Michelin Pilot Exaltoa/S has the same tread design. They all have the same arrangement of ribs, lugs, and grooves. They even share a pitch sequence. Engineers vary the size of the tread blocks to reduce road noise. If every block was the same size, the tire would scream. This is why tires hum instead of roar at highway speeds. But class characteristics only get you into the ballpark. To win a trial, you need individual characteristics. These are the unique, accidental markings. These turn a mass-produced product into a one-of-a-kind fingerprint. Every time you hit a curb, you leave a nick. Every time you drive over a sharp rock, you create a cut. Even the stones stuck in your tread create a unique void. It is mathematically impossible for two cars to have identical wear. They would need to drive the exact same route over debris. They would need the exact same wheel alignment and tire pressure. The odds of a random match are essentially zero. Back in the lab, Mazza cleaned the stone casts. He placed them side by side with the tires from the silver Altima. He wasn't just looking for the Michelin brand name, he was looking for a scar. And on the rear driver's side tire, he found his answer. Trooper Mazza placed the stone casts on a clean laboratory table. He positioned them next to the actual tires from the rental car. He began a meticulous side-by-side comparison. The tires were Michelin Pilot Exalto A/S. In 2013, these tires were not standard on the Nissan Altima. Most Altimas left the factory equipped with Continental or Bridgestone tires. The Michelin was a rare, high-end performance swap. This narrowed the suspect pool from millions to just a few dozen. It was a 1 in thousands statistical anomaly. But Mazza needed to go deeper than the brand name. He looked at the outer rib of the rear driver's side tire. He found an irregular gouge in the rubber. It was a tiny accidental nick caused by a sharp stone. He looked at the dental stone cast taken from the scene. There, in the hardened gypsum, was the exact same mark. It was a perfect, three-dimensional match. The unique scar on the tire fit the wound in the mud. It was the forensic equivalent of a smoking gun.
On the stand yet again this morning was a tire impression expert from the Mass State Police. He testified that a rear tire of that vehicle matched an impression found in the North Attleboro Industrial Park.
This evidence placed the car within feet of Odin Lloyd's body. Investigators now overlaid this with the digital footprint. At 2:10 a.m., the car was in Dorchester picking up the victim. At 3:07 a.m., the GPS showed the car entering the industrial park. At 3:11 a.m., the vehicle performed the sharp turn seen in the mud, the exact moment his secrets and his paranoia collided. By 3:23 a.m., the car was back at Hernandez's mansion. The science had built a bridge between the athlete and the execution. The $200 tire had essentially witnessed the murder. But Aaron Hernandez had hired the best legal team money could buy. Driven by the desperate need to keep his past buried, they were not intimidated by a piece of dirt and a rubber tread. They were preparing to argue that the science was a fantasy, and they were about to attack the one thing the prosecution relied on. The trial began in January 2015. Defense attorney James Sultan took the floor. He called the tire evidence unreliable junk science. He argued that the industrial park was a public space. He claimed thousands of cars could have left those marks. Then, he turned his sights on Trooper Mazza himself. Sultan aggressively questioned the investigator's experience. He highlighted the relatively small number of cases Mazza had handled. He tried to paint the analysis as a rookie mistake. The defense wanted the jury to believe Mazza saw what he wanted to see.
Charging the defendant, Aaron Hernandez, with murder. What say you, Madam Foreperson?
But the prosecution pointed to the accidental characteristics. Standard wear and tear does not create a fingerprint. Only a specific collision with a specific rock does that. The jury spent 6 days in deliberation. They weighed the GPS data against the tire casts. They looked at the blue gum, the shell casing, and the terrifying picture of a man undone by his own panic. On April 15th, 2015, the verdict was read.
Find the defendant not guilty, guilty of murder in the first degree, or guilty of murder in the second degree.
Aaron Hernandez was found guilty of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. His $40 million contract was immediately voided. His legacy as a superstar was erased in an instant. It is a staggering contrast of values. A man with every resource failed to cover his tracks. He could afford the world's most expensive lawyers. He lived in a fortress of high-end security to escape his ghosts. Yet the very paranoia that drove him to silence Odin Lloyd was the thing that buried him. He was caught by a common rental car and a piece of rubber worth $200. As an investigator, I see this pattern often. Criminals focus on the big picture. They worry about witnesses, silencing threat lines, and escaping hidden cameras. They forget about the ground they stand on. They forget that every surface captures a story. In the end, Aaron Hernandez didn't just lose his career. His paranoia cost him his life. He lost his freedom to a signature in the mud, and that is the absolute power of forensics.